Guys, it is good to be back with another video. Today we got three massive things to talk about. It is, of course, the Onvo L90. We got official pictures of it. We're going to show you in this video. And then also we have, well, NIO is sort of cannibalizing Onvo sales because the price gap is extremely narrow. We're going to talk about that, and then also we're going to talk about NIO making hybrids. They're doing the right move but making a big mistake. All of that in this one juicy video. Please smash that like button. So first of all, Onvo L90, here are the official images released onto the web. Of course, the Onvo L90 will officially debut at the Shanghai Auto Show coming in just a few short weeks. And the Onvo L90 is going to be NIO Group's biggest vehicle ever. And it is, of course, size meets value for the family market. And this is, of course, targeting Li Auto's L series cars and sort of aiming at everything that they have, they're going to have as well. So if you take a look, the front, very reminiscent of the Onvo L60, the back as well. Very, very big car. You have many different rim options. And of course, right from these images, you can tell there's going to be three variants. You have the base variant, you have a premium variant, and a first edition. So the first edition is, of course, going to be the limited edition. And then you got the premium is probably going to have air suspension. And then the standard is probably just your standard suspension. And it's also going to have these side steps that come out and also help you get into the car. Very, very nice looking car. And this is, of course, you know, if they price this right, it's going to get a lot of sales. And this is probably, in my opinion, going to really help propel Onvo sales forward. All right, it's size meets plus value, okay, plus battery swap, minus brand recognition, of course, right? I hate to say it, but yes, there's less brand recognition with Onvo. But that is, of course, what it is. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be amazing. Next up, of course, NIO cannibalizing Onvo sales. We know from my videos and also online right now, NIO sales have been exploding like crazy, but not Onvo sales. It's because of the incentives. They're lowering the prices plus 240 free swap vouchers, 5 years of free battery swap. So they're lowering the price by 20,000 RMB and 240 free swap vouchers. Of course, you're going to have sales exploding for the NIO brand. And if you give up those 240 free swap vouchers, you can get a further 20,000 RMB discount. And that has closed the gap between NIO and Onvo to the smallest point it has ever been. All right, so it's caused a situation where why would you buy an Onvo when you can just pay a little bit extra for a NIO? And that is exactly what's happening right now. So if you look at this chart, this is, of course, the pricing of NIO versus Onvo. NIO's vehicles right now, after the discounts, you can get an ET5, ET5T for 191,000 RMB. And, of course, the Onvo L60 after discount starts at 170,000 RMB. So the gap between them is only about 18,000 RMB or around $2,400 US. So you can buy an Onvo car, or for $2,400 US extra, you can buy a NIO. So a lot of consumers are kind of, why buy an Onvo when you could buy a NIO, right? Well, at the end, it's still good for NIO because they're getting the sales, but you see where the problem is, right? The Onvo isn't getting the same level of discount that NIO is getting. So you have that problem, okay? Is it a good problem? Is it a bad problem? Many people here in China have been saying that Onvo should do the same level of discount. I mean, if you're a family brand and you're talking about value, but NIO offers more value now. You have 5 years of free battery swap. What the hell, right? So, Onvo's got to do the same, right? All right, so that's that. We're going to move on to the next topic, of course, hybrids. There are rumors online that NIO is going to build hybrids, but only for the Middle Eastern market. That is absolutely the case. It is true. NIO CEO has talked about this in the past. It's sort of CYVN, which is those are the Middle Eastern bosses, so to speak. They own a big portion of NIO, and they want NIO to make a hybrid. And if they say so, then you have to follow suit. And it's also, according to the CEO, because the infrastructure in the Middle East, charging infrastructure, isn't sufficient to support pure EVs. Okay, it's sort of like the market is just like that. For example, in Egypt, it doesn't have the necessary charging infrastructure to support pure EVs. So they kind of have to make a product there, but it's, you can't really go full EV. So hybrid is the solution, which I think it's right? Hybrids here in China sell tremendously well. But if you're going to pour millions and millions into R&D into developing a hybrid product, but not sell it in one of the biggest automobile markets ever, I think they are making a grave mistake. Okay? You're going to spend so much money building a very good product, but only sell it in a small market. Come on. That's another one of the top management mistakes that I think they're making. They're making another huge mistake, right? A lot of people saying Onvo shouldn't be a separate brand. It should have just been NIO. If it was NIO, what would have happened? They were worried about diluting the NIO brand, but instead, if you had the Onvo car as a NIO car, you would be leveraging the NIO brand and cashing in on the brand value. Instead, you're creating a new brand that people don't know about, and you have to spend millions more on marketing, and it would not have sold as well if it was under the NIO brand. And here I think NIO management is making a critical mistake by limiting a great product into just a small market. If they sell that car here in China, that hybrid car, of course it would go against their philosophy of blue sky coming, but it's going to sell like hotcakes. It's going to sell well. Hybrids sell well, all right? And some people just simply can't let go of hybrids. And it's very frustrating for them to really cave in, so to speak, and sort of be slapped around by CYV and slapping top management saying, hey, you guys got to build a hybrid because we don't have the charging infrastructure. And NIO goes, okay, we'll build a hybrid, but not sell it in China. What kind of crazy idea is that, right? If they do sell in China, it's going to sell well. And, the same problem with the Middle East, not enough charging infrastructure. In some parts of China, you have a similar situation, right? So they got to really start be thinking shareholder first, and shareholder first doesn't just mean CYVN first, but also retail investors. We want to see sales, so we want to see them sell that product here in China, because why not? You already made that product, right? It goes against your philosophy. Who cares, right? You want the company to survive. You want the company to have the most number of sales. You want the company to be profitable. Who cares about your philosophy if you go bankrupt, right? Your philosophy ain't going to exist if you go under, right? You spend millions in R&D on a product that's going to sell well in China, but you don't sell it in China. You see how frustrating that is, right? So I sincerely hope that if CYVN is forcing NIO to build a hybrid car, yes, that's good. Force them to sell it in China, all right? We can't force them to sell it in China, but I guess CYVN can. Force them to sell it in China. It's going to sell well, right? Give consumers the product they want, right? Yeah, I know this is pretty controversial. I'm pretty angry about this, but it is what it is. Hopefully it sells well in Egypt, but realistically speaking, Egypt, it doesn't have a massive population compared to China. And how many cars can you sell there realistically, right? So it still has to be sold in China. As always, stay safe, stay healthy. Peace out.